Want to speak to Ramogi TV and Ramogi Radio.
Thank you very much, Trevor, and most welcome with Victor to my home here. I've lived here for very long. And I requested this interview because this is an important medium of communication to the Luo Nation. And these stations, I want to say they are not tribal. They are very good stations because all communities have their unique ways and they have their language. And communication, as far as I'm concerned, it's not what you say, but what is understood. People understand their language better. So I sought to talk to the Luo Nation through this medium because I felt that there is a very deliberate attempt by William Ruto to create a wedge between me and the Luo Nation and my community, the Mount Kenya people, and a lot of false narratives and an attempt to create a bogeyman, somebody whom the Luo Nation can hate for no reason. And I thought it is important that I engage the community as to what I think about the community, our relationship, the past, the present, and the future, and possible areas of cooperation. And also is my responsibility as a leader in this country when I see a community is being taken in a certain direction that my community has been taken through before. I have a responsibility to tell them, wow, here, be careful. We have seen it before. I can see the trajectory, and what has happened to me and my community can happen to you, so be careful. And they make the decisions. And you see what we do, Trevor, when we talk to people. You just talk to them. Whether they agree with what you say or not, that's up to them. Whether they accept your advice or not, that's up to them. If they reject it totally, that's up to them. But once you talk to them, your heart becomes free and your conscience is clear.
All right. You're perceived in that region that you're talking about as being primarily against the Luo Nation because of your strong statements over time. Do you have a problem with the Luo community?
Far from it. I have nothing against the Luo community. I have nothing but admiration. I'm a great admirer of the Luo Nation. And my history with the people from that nation is very colorful. I am a student of political science. And the people who have made me who I am, the professors and doctors who took care of my politics at the University of Nairobi, are from the Luo Nation. The late Dr. Nyangira took me through basic concept in political science. The late Dr. Katete Orwa was my mentor at the University of Nairobi. Professor Wanyande was a great lecturer. And today I owe to them for my politics because I know a lot. In my employment life, I was mentored by two great public servants, three public servants from the Luo Nation. Samuel Eric Oreta was a district commissioner for Kiambu, a great man from Kedube. When I reported to Kiambu as a young district officer, 25 years, he took me through how to be a good administrator. And I'm a good administrator through the hands of Samuel Eric Oreta. I went through Peter Aburu, who was my district commissioner in Kakamega. Later on, he became provincial commissioner in Nyeri. He took me through mentorship. The late Hezekiah Oyugi, Kalam Maduong, that great administrator, I worked under him. I have good relationship with the Luo community, and I must tell you, I trust the professionals from that community, like many of us do. All these rich people you see here in Nairobi, all these very educated people, they are doctors, are from the Luo community. Professor Ogutu is a great doctor at the Nairobi hospital, and I had challenges with my stomach for many years and had to see many doctors until somebody recommended that I see Professor Ogutu in 2016. And the matter was settled. If I go to Nairobi hospital and Professor Ogutu is not there, I go away unless it's an emergency, until I see him. Our architects, the people, the men who designed this house, Architect Touma, a great architect, he designed this house for me 30 years ago. And even when I have to do my interior in Nyeri, wherever I am in my family hotels, the professionals from the Luo community are great people.
Okay.
A structural engineer Ogutu, he has done all my structural work. Okay. I have many artisans who work for me.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
I have a very great respect for the Luo professionals because they are really professional and they are very proud of their work. Okay. They are people you actually cannot avoid if you are serious Kenyan.
Right.
So anybody saying that I have a problem with the community, far from it. I have nothing against the community. We have had problems politically. Okay. And when people are opposing each other, when the late Raila Odinga was an opponent of Mwai Kibaki, I was for Mwai Kibaki. So ordinarily, there was a contest between my community and the Luo community.
Asante sana, asante sana. Labda nikigusia kidogo, tukisonga nyuma kidogo, kuna wakati ulikuwa katika msafara wako wa kwenda Kisii, ukapitia Bomet, kuna matamshi mengine uliyoyasema ambayo ni kana kwamba ni kudhalilisha hii jamii ya Kijaluo. Labda producer ungetupatia nafasi ya kusikiza ili tuweke jambo hili kwa muktadha, jinsi ulivyozungumza ukiwa na wale watu kutoka maeneo ya Bomet County. Labda tusikize vile ulivyozungumza kwa hiyo hadhara.
Rais alipitishwa na kura ya mlima na ya Wakalenjin. Sasa nikamuuliza rais, kama tumesahau hii Wakalenjin walikuvumilia mwaka 5, wewe unachukua kila kitu unapeleka Nyanza, kutembelea hii watu, ukija Kericho, ukija Bomet, unakuja kanisa interdenominational, bora ukuje kufungua project Bomet, bora ukuje Kericho, bora uende Nandi.
Je, unayajutia hayo matamshi ambayo yanaonekana kudhalilisha jamii ya Kijaluo?
Hapana, mimi sijaongea vibaya. Nimesema rais mlimpigia kura, yeye akuje hapa, anaenda Nyanza. Tungetaka aende Nyanza na pia akuje hapa. Sio ati aende Nyanza peke yake, hata mlimani siku hizi akuji, hata pale ingine haendi. Mimi nilisema tulipigia huyu rais kura hapa Kericho. Nimemwona ameenda Nyanza the whole of Christmas. Hajakuja hapa. Sijasema asiende Nyanza, nimesema akitoka Nyanza akuja nyumbani. Kwa sababu hii Kenya ni yetu sisi zote. Huwezi kaa sehemu moja usahau wale ambaye pia walikupigia kura. So matamshi yangu nilikuwa naambia watu ya Kericho, mimi sirithiki ya kwamba rais sio ati hatembei. Kama angekuwa ofisi na hakuna pahali anatembea, ingekuwa labda ako na kazi mingi kwa ofisi na ameamua hatembei Kenya. Lakini nilisema tunamuona anatembea pande ile ya Nyanza kila wakati. Na si Nyanza peke yake kwa Luo Nyanza. Nyanza ni kubwa, iko Kisii, iko Kuria. Sio kusema ni Nyanza peke yake ya Luo Nyanza.
Hii ni mojawapo tu ya kanda ambayo ilinakiliwa ukizungumza hayo matamshi. Kuna baadhi ya video ama kanda ambavyo wewe kama naibu wa rais wa kitambo ulizungumza kana kwamba unaidhalilisha hii jamii ya Wajaluo. Je, unajutia matamshi yako kama kiongozi katika hii nchi?
Mimi sijafanya matamshi yote dhidi ya jamii ya Wajaluo. Kama tulikuwa na mambo ya siasa tukipambana na marehemu Raila Odinga, hiyo ni matamshi ya kisiasa. Na siasa iko na marubano kwa sababu ni mashindano. Na lazima unasifu yule ambaye unapigia campaign na unajaribu kuhujumu yule ambaye mnapingana na yeye. Lakini hakuna siku mimi nimetoa matamshi ya kuhujumu jamii ya Wajaluo.
Do you believe the president should only visit places where he got votes?
No, the president should visit everywhere.
Then why should it be a problem when he goes to
Nyanza? No, I'm saying he should visit everywhere.
You are very
but
specific.
He should not,
you told those people that you are the ones who voted for him, but he's taking your development
yes,
in Nyanza.
Yes,
do the Nyanza people deserve any development?
They deserve a lot of development. And the president should visit Nyanza as many times as practically possible. But also he should visit the Rift Valley where he was voted for. He should also visit the mountain where he was voted for. He cannot abandon the people who voted for him and spend all the time in one region. I was saying he must be balanced and he must serve all Kenyans equally. But he cannot pretend that he has forgotten there are certain people and he knows them because he voted for them and he has no time for them and he has time for others. So I was calling for balanced development.
When you're with the president, you used to travel all over the country. Why is it that when he's heading to Nyanza is when you raise those issues around him needing to travel to places where he got votes?
I just gave an example at that particular time.
Do you accept that he's been to the other parts of the country as well?
I gave that example at that particular time over Christmas period because the Christmas period he spent all the time in Nyanza.
And now, do you believe that he's visited other parts of the country?
Well, I've seen him go to Western. Okay. I've not seen him go to the Rift Valley. I've not seen him come back to the mountain. He should visit all parts of the country. Okay. And he should visit all parts of the country and do real and tangible development, not to go to insult people. That I agree. Let him visit everywhere, including Nyanza. Let him also remember that he has his people in Rift Valley, he has people in the coast, he has people in Ukambani. He must visit everybody.
That statement inspiring the president to visit Nyanza in itself is contradictory, because you have been quoted as saying there are people with shares and others don't. Do you believe the Nyanza people now have shares in the government?
Well, the Nyanza people are talking about shares every day, because it's the way politics are done.
You're the one who started the conversation on shares.
Today, okay, those are my students then they are learning very well.
So do the Nyanza people
Odinga,
have shares?
Everybody should have a share in government. And what they are asking for is the right thing. And that is what I was asking. They removed me from office. The ODM people removed me from office for asking for shares for the people who voted for the president. I have had Oburu Odinga, I have had Suluhu and other leaders in ODM telling William Ruto, if you want us to join you, we want 50% shares in your administration. That is the same thing I was saying. But they removed from office and said talking about shares is a very bad thing. And that's why I've been saying they are very hypocritical. You know, shares is about forming government. When you join somebody in a coalition, there are certain expectations. And it's all about shareholding. You agree. If we vote for you, what is there for us? Because politics is about interest. And I have seen the ODM people, they are actually very bold. They are asking for 50% shares. I've heard the governor of Mombasa saying that they want the seat of the deputy president as a reducible minimum. All they were accusing me of is what they are practicing. So there is really nothing wrong about discussion about what will happen to you when you form government.
So unasema wewe huna tatizo lolote na jamii ya Wajaluo. Hayati Raila Odinga alipoaga dunia, hukuonekana katika ile hafla iliyokuwa Nyayo Stadium, hafla iliyokuwa Kasarani, hafla iliyokuwa Mamboleo, hata hafla iliyokuwa kwake wakati wa kumuaga. Saa hizi ni miezi mitano, hatuja kuona kama unaenda ku...
It's true. I sent condolences to the late Raila Odinga, and I had planned to go to the Nyayo National Stadium. And I got information that some goons had been arranged to attack me, so that it could create conflict between the Luo nation and the Kikuyu nation. And I applied my mind as a senior politician, as a strategist, and I realized that it was a very important occasion for Raila Odinga and his followers, and it would have been imprudent for me to seem like I have brought chaos into a very solemn ceremony that was very, very important. I planned to go to Bondo. I also got information. And you know, from where I'm coming from, for the longest, I've been attacked by goons in this Nairobi, and most of them have been organized by a senior civil servant from Luo Nyanza. The goons that have attacked me in church in Kariobangi, in Mweki, when I was coming from the airport, were organized by a senior politician from Nyanza, who is also organizing goons in Nyanza. The ones
Do you
that
have evidence for
the
that
ones that
statement
heckled,
that you're making?
yes, I have. The ones that heckled Orengo were organized by the same person. So I have also my own intelligence. I get to know what goes on in the security sector and in the country. So when I learned also in Bondo that there were plans to attack me physically as a strategy to create a wedge between the Kikuyu nation and the Luo nation. Because what would have happened if I was attacked in Bondo, the Kikuyu nation would have felt very bad and create an enmity with the Luo nation. And the Luo nation had nothing against me, you know. In fact, let me tell you, the last time I was in Luo nation in the company of William Ruto, when I was his deputy, I was given such rousing welcome in Migori, in Homa Bay, in Siaya, in Kisumu. For the 4 days we were in Nyanza, the Luo nation welcomed me like a king. So I knew, you know, people who have dirty schemes of trying to create a wedge between the two communities wanted to attack me at Nyayo National Stadium and at Bondo to create conflict between the two communities. But I'm too smart of a politician to fall into such hands.
Ameshazikwa, kuna baadhi ya delegation bado wanakwenda kwake alipolazwa, lakini bado
I did call my mama Ida Odinga, and I gave her my personal condolences, me and Pastor Dorcas, and we did place a request that we would like to go to Bondo. and she told us that things were still quite heavy, and at the appropriate time she will give us an answer. We are still waiting, and if the family tells us, in fact I was ready with my elders and everybody, but we cannot go to a home unless the owner of that home tells us come.
Are you saying they've denied you entry?
No, they have not.
Because it's been 5 months and you've not been there.
She told us
why didn't you go to Karen?
She told us to wait, and we are waiting. Yeah, you cannot force yourself into somebody's home. I'm an elder, I'm a leader in this country. I also am a person who will respect families and homes and traditions.
What kind of message does it send, Mheshimiwa, when someone you say you revere passed on and you've not been seen anywhere near that place for 5 months?
I have made, I made my condolences. I have passed my condolences to Mama Ida Odinga. I have said if accorded an opportunity, we would like to go and pay homage to the gravesite.
In one of the interviews with the local radio station, and I'm quoting what you said that Ruto alikuwa anajiringa na Raila, sasa Mungu ni nani? Why are you celebrating the death of the former prime minister?
I'm not celebrating. That is your own interpretation. You can't
what
put
was your
words
interpretation?
You cannot
That's
put,
what you said.
You cannot put words
Did you not say what I said?
You cannot put words in my mouth.
Muktadha wa hiyo matamshi ilikuwa nini labda?
You cannot put words in my mouth.
I'm quoting you verbatim.
I said life. I said life.
Na Mungu ni nani?
What I meant is that life is dynamic. What is happening yesterday is not what is happening today, and it's not what is happening tomorrow. It has nothing to do with celebrating. It's simply capturing the dynamism of life. That what was yesterday is not what is today. What is today is not what is tomorrow. Life is not static. Life is dynamic. It keeps on moving on.
Mbona kwa ule uchaguzi uliopita ilikuwa sawa wewe kufanya kazi na Rais Ruto, na wakati jamii hii ya Wajaluo kitaka kufanya kazi na William Ruto, kwa kura ijayo inakuwa tabu kwako?
Nani amesema iko tabu kwangu?
Matamshi yako ni peupe, Mheshimiwa.
Sijasema iko tabu.
Matamshi yako ni peupe, yanasema hivyo, yanaangaza hivyo.
Mimi nakuuliza, siku rais alikuwa anapigana na Raila Odinga, alikuwa anaunga yeye mkono? Hakuwa anaunga yeye mkono. Kwa hivyo siku tulikuwa tunapigana na Raila hatugeunga yeye mkono. Tena mimi sikupigana na Raila, alipigana na Rais William Ruto. Mimi nilikuwa nasaidia William Ruto kupigana na Raila. Lakini yule ambaye walipingana na yeye ni Raila Odinga na William Ruto, sio mimi. Kwa hivyo huwezi sema ati niko na shida. Mimi sina shida, mimi natafuta uongozi. Ruto anatafuta uongozi. Na lazima sisi tupigane na Ruto kwa sababu tunataka kumshinda.
What has changed now? Because this president who you're saying unataka kupigana naye kwa sababu unataka kumshinda was a darling at some point to you. Is it because of the impeachment that now you've changed tune for someone you referred to as your brother?
William Ruto betrayed the Kenyan nation.
The Kenyan nation or you?
The Kenyan nation.
He's still the president of the nation. It's
he betrayed the Kenyan nation. He said he'll put money into people's pockets. Instead, he took the little that he had. During his campaigning, he said there will be no extrajudicial killing. He came and abducted children and killed them. During his campaign, he said there will be no evictions or demolitions. There are demolitions every day.
Lakini ubomoaji ulifanyika hata kama wewe ulikuwa naibu wa rais.
Well, if you remember, ukikumbuka, katika mashtaka niletewa Senate moja ilikuwa nilipinga ubomoaji. Kwa hivyo mimi nilikataa hiyo maneno kwa sababu tulikuwa tumeahidi wa Kenya ya kwamba
baada mambo ya kuharibika kati yako na rais ndio ukaanza kuzungumza vilivyo. Lakini hapo awali ni kana kwamba ulikuwa na unga mkono sera
hakuna mambo ya
wakati huo.
Mimi nilipinga maneno kutoka ndani mpaka ikafika pahali hawezi fichika. Na moja ya hayo maneno ni ubomoaji ya mali ya umaskini. Kwa sababu tukitafuta kura tulikuwa tumesema hatutapinga, hatutabomoa mali ya watu maskini bila kuwapatia pahali ya kwenda, na hatutabomolea watu usiku. Hiyo ikaanza kufanyika, mimi nikapinga. Kwa hivyo mimi nilikataa mambo mingi kwa sababu huyu muungwana tulifanya kampeni na yeye na tuliahidi watu mambo mingi sana. Na wafuasi wangu ni wengi sana. Na wakaanza kuniuliza maswali. Huyu jamaa uliletea sisi na ukatuambia ni muungwana, mlituahidi hii na hii, mbona mmekeuka? Kwa hivyo mimi nikaanza kupingana naye na kumwambia hapana, tulikubaliana hii, mbona nageuka? Mpaka ikafika pahali ikakuwa ya kwamba hatuelewani. Ndio.
Let's talk about housing for a bit because it's one of the projects that you're talking about here, and we've talked about demolitions. At some point, and I want to play that soundbite for you, at some point you said that you don't understand how someone can go against the housing project. And at some point you also changed. Listen to what you said.
Why would anybody is in his right frame of mind have a problem with slum upgrading? Why would anybody in his right thinking have a problem with having affordable housing for Kenyans so that they can live with dignity? Hii housing imelazimishwa wa Kenya kutoa housing levy kwa lazima. Hiyo pesa sasa imechukuliwa, imepeleka kujenga soko, kujenga mashule, kwa sababu imekuwa conduit ya wizi.
What changed, Mheshimiwa?
Everything changed because I was deceived. I believed William Ruto of all the things he told me and the people of Kenya. And many Kenyans believed him. Many Kenyans believed him. Today they feel deceived, I included. I really believed housing was a good program to create employment. I believed him, 100%. I believed it was the right thing because he is very convincing and I had no reason to doubt him. Until it came to my knowledge that it was all a scheme to create wealth. The president bought 2 factories that manufacture steel. They are the ones.
Which factories are they?
Yes, I have.
Do you have the evidence?
There's one called Apex and another. The president bought a tiles manufacturing company. He bought Baburi Cement. All these factories he bought are the ones that are supplying construction materials for affordable housing. And that is why he needed to create enough money by taxing Kenyans so that his businesses can thrive.
Why should Kenyans trust you now, and yet you're the same person who said that you don't understand why someone
because
this housing?
Only a fool doesn't change his mind.
So if you're deceived then, are you deceived
As
now?
I told you, life is dynamic. You get on knowing people. Today, Trevor, you are this. Tomorrow, I know you differently. So then William Ruto was very convincing. He came to us in the mountain with the Bible, and we trusted him because we are Christians, basically. But on assuming office, he became another person. He became a businessman. And I was there as his deputy, and I saw through it, and I couldn't take it. And I said, no, this is not what we promised the people of Kenya.
Kwa maana vitu vinabadilika jinsi ulivyosema. Sasa kuna haja gani pia sisi kukuamini wewe kama mwanasiasa?
Well, hiyo itakuwa ni Wakenya kama wataniamini, sio wewe. Wakenya wataangalia vile mimi naongea.
Ni baadhi tu ya maswali ambayo
wataangalia ile facts mimi naweka kwa meza. Na wataona kama wataniamini. Now people keep on changing their mind. Huyu William Ruto ana shida kwa Wajaluo siku 5 akitukana Rigathi Gachagua na Wakikuyu. Alikuwa huko mwaka 9 akitukana Raila na Wajaluo. Leo anasema baba ni mtu mzuri, Wajaluo ni watu wazuri. Wacha nimalize. So umeniambia why people change their mind. Let me give you a good example.
Okay.
Today, William Ruto is in Nyanza abusing me for 5 days. Saying I'm this, I'm that, making me a bogeyman, and attacking my community. We are tribalist. For 9 years, he was all over the country abusing Raila Odinga, kusema ni mchawi, ni muganga, kusema Wajaluo ni ile watu ya kungoa leri, Wajaluo ni watu ya fujo, kusema huyu Raila haendi kanisa, anakuwa na nyoka mfukoni. He was saying all those things for 9 years.
You also said the same thing.
Yes, I did. I did, and I'll tell you. I'll explain to you. Let me finish.
That is fighting.
Yes, I did.
So is that the same position you hold now?
I'm saying.
Mpaka ukasema wewe ulikuwa na kufanya kwa niaba yake pia.
Ngoja kidogo. Simuache.
Na ulisema
kwani mko na fujo, simuache niongee.
Tunasikizana.
No, I can see you have predetermined questions. So also let me answer. So umeniuliza swali.
Okay.
No.
Tunakupatia nafasi ya kuyajibu.
Wacha tukubaliane kwanza.
Okay.
Ukiniuliza swali lazima nijibu.
Kwa heshima na taadhima tunakupatia nafasi ya kuyajibu maswali tafadhali.
So wewe ukisema kitu pia unipatie nafasi.
Okay.
Umeniuliza kwa nini nilibadilisha mafikira. Nimekuambia William Ruto huyu ana shida kwa Wajaluo. Akitukana Rigathi Gachagua na Wakikuyu. Alishinda kwa Wakikuyu akitukana Raila Odinga, kusema ni mganga, ni mchawi, ni mtu ya Wajaluo ni watu ya kungoa leri, Wajaluo ni watu ya fujo. Leo alikuwa anasema jana Wajaluo they are intellectuals, they are very intelligent people.
But it is you we are talking to, Mheshimiwa.
No, but I must give examples because also when you ask me questions,
because you
must give it
the
in
same
context.
thing. So I'd like to hear your accountability of the same
Trevor, I must give examples of how leaders go. This is one leader called Rigathi Gachagua. You have said, I also say the same thing. It's true. Because in our campaign, it's like a choir. William Ruto was the choir master. He was the composer of the song and the soloist. So wale choir members wanafuata what the choir master is saying. Yeah, ndiye alituambia hiyo maneno.
Sasa wewe ulikuwa kwa chorus.
Yeah, tulikuwa chorus.
But have you now changed your mind?
No, me now I'm a choir master. So those who are behind me
so
now,
the song has now changed.
I have a different song.
Why should they believe you now
But
that the song
was not my
changed?
song.
It's just a song that you
No,
changed.
it was
You're still
not
the
my
same,
song.
You're still the same chorus and now you're the choir master.
That song was not mine. I was a member of the choir. Choir ilikuwa ya William Ruto. Ya kupiga Raila Odinga na Wajaluo. Sisi tulikuwa choir members. So tunafuata choir master.
Ulikuwa unatumiwa wewe?
We were members of the choir.
But this new song, have you now changed your mind?
I have said.
Why should the people?
I have given you
yes.
An analogy.
Why should the people believe a choir master or a chorus master who changes tune?
It's up to the people to believe.
It's like they're asking you.
If they, I don't know. They will listen to me. They will listen to me and decide.
You painted the Luo nation as a nation that is chaotic, violent.
I didn't.
In fact,
William Ruto did. It's not me.
It is not me. I'm quoting you. You said at some point that a community has been castigated as people cause violence every single time.
I've told
that
you.
That was you.
I've told you.
Directly.
I've given you a very good explanation.
The same community.
I've given you a very good explanation that I was a part of a choir and our choir master was William Ruto. And our work was to repeat the chorus from the choir master, who was also the composer.
At what point will you take responsibility for your own utterance?
I am saying
because now you're saying that he's the one who told you to say it.
No, I'm saying, Trevor, we were in politics. And
are you still in politics now?
Yeah, we're in politics.
So why should they believe you?
I am saying we were having a contest between Raila Odinga and his people. And that was the politics of the day. I am not in politics with Raila Odinga. There is no presidential candidate from the Luo nation who is facing me. So there is no conflict. That was a contest. People are looking for positions. And there is a conflict as it goes on in politics. So they will be trading here and there. Why William Ruto now is abusing me, he was abusing Raila Odinga then because he was his competitor. Today, his most strongest competitor is GACHAGUA. And so he has just changed tact. The way he was abusing Raila Odinga is the way he's abusing GACHAGUA because I'm his competitor.
Do you regret this abusive language that you and your former boss have treated the nation to?
I have not abused anybody myself.
You started this conversation.
I did not start.
Did you describe the president as having lost
weight? I made that description. That description is true.
That is considered body shaming.
There is no apology to make. I described the way he looks. I did.
Chapter 6 of the Constitution and Integrity, Article 73.3, says that state officers should behave in a manner that bestows respect and dignity.
I'm not a state officer.
You've been the second in command.
I am not a state officer. I'm not a state officer.
So are you now allowed then to just abuse your other fellows just because you're not a current state officer? I am not a state officer. You've been the second in command. Do you regret the statements?
I have no regret whatsoever for my utterances. I made a true description that our other Kenyans have made. I'll continue speaking truthfully. You know, people say when people who steal, what are they called? They are thieves. People who do this and that, they must be described for who they are. And if anybody has a problem, you can take me to court.
Do you believe that statement is demeaning?
No, it's not.
What do you think it is?
It's up to you to
think.
What you think.
I've told you I'm not the one who made the statement.
I have nothing.
Was it demeaning?
I have nothing to say about it. I have said it's a true description of what I see.
What does the appearance of the president have to do with governance?
Well, you'll have to ask him.
You are the one who described him.
I'm saying it's you to ask him why he's so agitated.
But I'm speaking to you, and you're the one who started this conversation.
You are the one to ask him why he's so agitated.
Tumekuuliza kwa sababu wewe ndio ulikuwa mtangulizi wa jambo kama hilo.
Are you a lawyer for the president?
This is waandishi wa habari.
No. You also cannot. Are you here holding his brief?
It's a question that everybody
No. I can see.
You're a lead.
Are you holding a brief for William Ruto?
Honorable GACHAGUA, you've been the second in command in this country. And you're now thinking of being the head of this country.
Have you condemned him?
Do you think those statements were regretful?
What I would ask you to, have you as a president, whether he has to regret?
I'm speaking to you now, not to the president. We'll speak to the president at the right time.
Tumekuuliza kwa sababu tuko na wewe hapa na wewe ulikuwa mtangulizi wa hayo
maswali. I don't think this interview you hold brief for President William Ruto.
We're not holding brief for
in my view.
We're asking you to be accountable for the words that you said.
I had hoped that you would ask me issues of development to do with
We will get to that. Let's clear out a few things first.
Kuna maswala
I refuse
kuna,
to
ma, kuna maswala ya uongozi.
I refuse to have you have
kuna maswala ya uongozi na uadilifu. Jinsi
I've already
alivyosema
answered
katika
that
chapter
question. I
6
have
ya
nothing to
katiba.
add. That question I've answered.
Will you apologize to the people
for
cannot. What you did?
I have no apology to give to anybody.
Let me bring up a soundbite of what you said after this back and forth between yourself and the president. And you said that tumefikisha mahali tulikuwa tunataka. Let's play that soundbite so that we just refer to that conversation.
Sasa nimeona umekasirika vile nilitaka. Mimi nilitaka wewe ukasirike. You lose your temper. You lose your cool. You stop being presidential. Sasa Kasongo amekuja bahari nilikuwa nataka yeye. Ameteremuka chini. He is no longer presidential. Amekuwa mtu ya propaganda na fitina.
Is the politics of insults what you want?
True. He is where I wanted him.
In the politics of insults?
Yes.
Is that what you want?
Because that's whom he is. He has been on insults all his life. Insulting
Mwathani aretikira uguo niguo kwagirire.
pettiness.
Wira witu umuthi twerwo ithwe wira witu ni kwihariria mutururiri ariho hinya ucio atuheire muthenya wa umuthi twoka giikaro giki turabatara kwihariria gwitikira atiriri ona ithwe uyu ni guthia thiete ndegucoka ni ithwe tukamukora kiria tura akihurwo na nie kauhororo Yesu unene wa kioro aria muri mukheta
Kitambo sana ama wakati
tangu zamani
tulio katika
tangu zamani, lakini nilikuwa nafikiria akipata kiti ya rais atabadilika aje sasa amerudi tu mahali nafikiri tuongee mambo ya maana ile itasaidia hii interview.
Kuna masuala ya uadilifu na
hiyo sababu sasa unataka ikue hii
no mumemborari
mahoya kwa nyina wa
programu yetu
kana Nyanza for 5 days. Siwezi kuwa na interview kuendelea na mambo ya matusi ile rais anafanya Nyanza. Hiyo ni makata.
So you don't regret the statement that you made?
I have said I don't at all.
Wada kuhejeni je ni ko igoro tuhe muthio cia gutu waru kana wijera tukire
What did you mean by that? What did you mean
atuka mwe
tusa kuhaya nundu wa muci wa Jeni Njeri Ngai uria yorikitie kuhuruka mwathani tukuhaire itu amatu-ini mucucio nuri na muthuri na ngire thiini wa ngoro citu na nigetha tuhonie
umuhe uyuru wa ukuri waku Thank you, Your Grace. Miss you. Mutete wetia mbere ugo
aria metanaga coco ni aingi muno thia thiri
Kaikarera gitega gukenera tondu no
Wari mutumia wa gikundi gia CWA
ya gukorwo ni twititwo ni
mahoya kwa nyina wa pole tuga
mutumia wake
imagine that you miss
to work with Raila Odinga, what has happened? And he told me we were quite close. He confided into me that we cannot allow ODM to be. We must destroy ODM. So we must get nearer Raila Odinga, get nearer ODM and destroy it so that we are able to govern.
This is hearsay, you're saying. So you're saying the president wanted to destroy ODM?
Yes, he told me.
But it is the same party he wants to work with now.
How does that make sense? He doesn't want to work with ODM. He has destroyed ODM. ODM is a pale shadow of his former self. What will happen, and you tell me, this NDC that is scheduled for Friday, that is ODM's last supper, and I hear Ruto wants to attend. Let me be very candid with the ODM followers. That is Raila's legacy. Please don't allow William Ruto to destroy ODM, because I have been in this space before. The only way a region can protect its interests in a government is through a strong political party. My people from the mountain, we are in the terrible situation we are in, I included, because we went to join Ruto without our own political party. And he shortchanged us, turned against us, and can do whatever he wants. If ODM agrees to be swallowed by William Ruto, the people of that region will be at his mercy. And they'll come to cry the way we are crying. So it's up to them. And if they must join William Ruto, because we cannot stop them. Yeah? If they must stop him, if they must work with him, I'll give them a few tips, because it's important that I do so. And if they listen to me, it can help them. If they ignore it, it doesn't matter. But at least I'll have spoken, and it will be on record. If I had listened to President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he told us that William Ruto cannot be a good president and it's not good for the country, this country will not be in the shit we are in. Myself and the people of the mountain will not be in the predicament we are in.
With respect to what's your language, Mheshimiwa?
Yeah?
What's your language, Mheshimiwa?
No, I'm just saying.
It's national TV.
I'm just saying we will not be where we are.
Towers.
We will not be where we are. And the mistake we made was to join William Ruto in his party. Since that we have learned and formed our own party. And we cannot be swallowed or merged with anybody. We'll have to work, whoever wants to have a coalition with us. Our party, the DCP, will have a coalition intact without being swallowed by anybody. So my advice to ODM.
Okay, katia ODM shauri, hii ni chama ambacho kimekuwa katika siasa ya Kenya kwa muda wa miaka 20. DCP is hardly 2 years.
I'm talking as regards GACHAGUA. It may have been 20 years. I may be nobody, but I cannot be denied a chance to give advice. Maybe you think I'm nobody, but I'm saying I have been with William Ruto. Listen, I have been with William Ruto as his deputy. I helped him to be president with my people. He shortchanged all of us. So I have something that I know that I can share, because I can see ODM is being induced to work with William Ruto. I have some experience that can be useful. Okay. Unless you don't want me to share.
Asante. Yeah. Asante. Umenena hapo kwamba nyinyi kama watu wa mlima mlidanganywa kwa sababu hamkuwa na chama cha kisiasa. Kumaanisha chama cha DCP ni cha watu wa mlima pekee?
Hapana.
Tukiangalia vyanzo vya sheria,
chama yetu ni ya kitaifa. We won a by-election in Kisa East in Quisero, that is Kakamega. We won a seat in Narok Township, that is Narok in Rift Valley. We won a seat in Kariobangi North, which is cosmopolitan. But every community has a political home. You know, the Luo Nation, their political home is ODM with other Kenyans. The mountain people, their political home is DCP with other Kenyans. The Kalenjin, their home is UDA with other Kenyans. So every community has a home politically, and that is the way it should be, and it must be that way. But I'm saying, what ODM should do, my honest advice, because I can see it being destroyed, and I can see them along the way crying the way the mountain is crying. One, ODM is owed 12 billion through the political parties fund. If William Ruto is serious that he wants ODM to stand as a political party, John Badi is the CS National Treasury. They should reduce, ODM should demand 12 billion shillings owed to ODM to be released to ODM, so that financially they are independent and they can chart their own course. Number two, The president has been to Nyanza and made many promises. He has one budget to go, 2026-2027 financial year. Before the elections and after, he made a lot of promises to the mountain people. Mau Mau roads, this, that. Nothing has been done for 4 years. What ODM must make us reducible minimum. All those projects he has announced, they must demand that money be reflected in this last budget. Because if there is no money in the last budget, if there is no money in the last budget, that is just a campaign gimmick.
Asante.
Listen, let me say a few things I want to say. That money should be reflected in the budget. And it should not be a token. If the project is 1 billion, you can't put 50 million in budget for the next financial year and say the project is funded. The money must be put in the budget. Number 3, whatever relationship, whatever agreement that they want with William Ruto, let them learn from me. It must be made public. If they are being promised that they will be given the deputy president, it must be announced publicly. Whatever they are being promised, there should be a public pronouncement. Because the mistake I made, we did some things under the table in writing. Even Musalia, they did the same. All those things were not honored by William Ruto. And I can tell the people of ODM, things they are agreeing with him, they will not be honored unless he makes a public pronouncement. And they should demand early enough so that they have time to look elsewhere in case they are not satisfied with what they are agreeing with him. Number 4, and the most important, to make sure that ODM stands. William Ruto had no footage in Nyanza. He had no footage in Coast. He had no footage in Northeastern. He had no footage in Western. If ODM enters in agreement with William Ruto, they must demand that those areas are zoned for ODM so that they have enough members of parliament to be able to go into government with. But if they open up their strongholds, William Ruto, and UDA that has no presence in those areas, they will be swallowed. And that is what is happening. Once those things are done, then if they want to enter into a deal with him, they are safe. And I'm just sharing this because, in my community they say, if you are bitten by a black snake, when you see a rope, you run away. A rope that looks like a snake. And I'm just saying, because I can see what is happening, I can see the same deception. The time he is spending in Nyanza, every day he is there, he spent more time. He was 9 years in the mountain. Nowadays he doesn't come. The same script. He was coming to the mountain, promising us goodies, promising us heaven, promising us all manner of things until we elected him. I can see the same script going on. And I have a responsibility as a leader in this country to tell the people of Nyanza, please,
Asante.
I have been through this.
Yeah.
My people have been through this. We are all crying because we were deceived. We were conned. I can see another con game going on. I can see deception going on. Please be aware.
Okay.
And if you don't heed and it happens, please never say Rigiji never told us.
Wacha nikurudishe nyuma kidogo, Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais wa kitambo. Hapo awali ulisema huna shida na hii jamii. Unavyozungumza katika ile structure ya uongozi wa DCP, je, kuna yoyote yule ambaye anatoka katika eneo la Nyanza? Swali la pili, kuna wakati ulisema the position ya PS Interior na CS Finance ilikuwa a reserve of the mountaineers.
Yes.
Na bado unatuambia unatupenda?
No,
watu wa Nyanza.
My friend, one, Mable Owino, the Deputy Secretary General in charge of strategy, is a Luo girl from Kisumu, very talented young woman, and she's working with me. When I was appointed Deputy President, my Chief of Staff was George McAvoy from the Luo Nation, a great administrator.
Lakini aliondolewa baadaye akapelekwa mahali.
Ruto alimtoa akampeleka
Djibouti.
Djibouti, some funny somewhere. Yeah, I loved the guy, and when Ruto found my office was functioning well and he wanted to bring me down, one of the strategies he did to start undermining me was remove George McAvoy. He's a man I had brought to my office. I have total respect for the community and their professionalism. There's something you asked me. You said
CS Treasury.
CS Treasury. Yes, it's true. Just the way ODM is saying, deputy president is reducible minimum. Before we elected William Ruto, we had some demands and we agreed. And those are positions we negotiated. We had negotiated for National Treasury, CS, for CS Interior, for CS Agriculture. That is the way negotiations are done. And I was just saying, what we negotiated, you cannot take away. It does not mean that I have a problem with whoever I was giving. I was just saying, what we have negotiated, give it to me. Just the way we are saying now, I have heard Governor Mombasa saying deputy president is a reducible minimum. If they agree that they are given deputy president, if they are shortchanged, they must complain. That's the way these negotiations go. So myself, I was quite right in saying, whatever we agreed, we delivered. You had said, give me your votes, I'll give you this. We give you our votes, and what we gave you are taking away, I'm saying is wrong.
Ukiangalia hiyo ratiba ya wale mawaziri ambao katika baraza la mawaziri ya Rais Ruto, kuna baadhi watu ambao ni wanane kutoka eneo la Mlima Kenya.
Yes.
Does it bother you? Does it worry you?
Not at all.
In terms of representation in the cabinet?
I negotiated for the mountain in exchange of votes. ODM is demanding 50%. Is there anything wrong? You demand, you know, my friend.
This is
politics,
where the problem is.
Politics is a game of interest.
This is where the problem is. So what about the other nations and the other tribes?
But have you asked Oburu when he is demanding 50, what will happen to the rest of the country?
That is a conversation they're having, and I'll speak to him when we speak to him.
Yes.
But we're speaking to you now. The Mount Kenya region has about 8 CSs, more than 15 PSs, and more than 300 in this cycle of government in terms of leadership. Is that fair distribution of resources and appointments, considering
my brother Trevor, we had a political negotiation. William Ruto wanted votes from the mountain, 4 million votes. We gave it to him. And we say, in exchange, this is what we want. That's the way politics are done. And that's why I'm saying ODM cannot agree to dissolve. Because if they dissolve, how will they negotiate with William Ruto?
They've not had a conversation of dissolving, but I'm asking you, because you're a leader of the opposition now, and if you have a negotiation with ODM, will you then offer them the 8 slots and the 15 PS?
My friends, the dynamics of those negotiations will dictate what will happen then. We are not yet there. Let's not cross the bridge before we get there. Negotiations are informed by the parameters that exist at that time. William Ruto had been rejected by all other Kenyans except the mountain. He was desperate for the mountain vote. So we also asked him, we are the only people who are willing to back you. Coast rejected him. Northeastern rejected him. Nyanza rejected him. Western rejected him. Nairobi rejected him. Nobody else was willing to back him. The mountain was the only stupid region that could not see through him. We were conned, and we have accepted our mistake, and we are going to correct it. But since we are the only ones who are available to support him, we demanded as much as we could, because that's the nature of negotiations. But now, if we are in a coalition like now, we are with so many other people, I don't think we can demand that much, because whoever we are with, we are many of us, you know. But that time, other than the mountain, nobody else trusted William Ruto. They knew him, and they knew whom he is.
Do you understand
and history is repeating itself. As we speak today, only that region seems to believe William Ruto can be anything. And that is why they are demanding 50%. And I think they are quite right. Because the mountain doesn't want him. Coast doesn't want him. Everybody doesn't want him. So the people of ODM in Nyanza are saying, well, since nobody wants you, can you give us 50%?
Do you understand why people are a bit shy to deal with you? Because of the strong language that you use. Even right now, when we speak about a conversation.
Say you are shy dealing with me.
You have just
Don't
said,
talk about other people.
You've just said the Mount Kenya region are the only people who are stupid enough. Yes. That tagging is where the problem is.
No, we were
labeling communities.
I have said that is a feeling in my community, that we were conned, and we did not see it through the con. We were conned, and we have accepted. And that is a mess, is a language everywhere. We were duped into electing somebody who cannot lead, a businessman who has, reaped the country, who has taken over all the businesses in the country, who has ordered abductions and extrajudicial killings, who has spoiled relationship with other countries. We were duped. And when people are duped, how do you describe them? And I have said myself, I was stupid. I have accepted. I was stupid enough not to see through William Ruto. And that's why I'm saying I don't want anybody else to be conned. I don't want anybody else to be duped. I have a responsibility as a Kenyan leader to tell other people whom I can see they are being conned. You guys, you are being conned. I have been through this with my people. We were conned. And if I don't tell you, because myself, I feel terrible because Uhuru Kenyatta had warned me and our people, and we did not listen. And we can therefore not blame Uhuru Kenyatta because he had told us, this man is not fit to lead. This man will make sure there is no country. The same has come to pass in Uhuru Kenyatta's lifetime. I don't want any other community to fall into the same trap when I'm alive and when I have a mouth to tell them. And that's why I'm telling the people of Luo Nyanza, hey, be careful. And if you must go to bed with this man, can you demand the following?
Will you approach ODM and have a conversation around coalitions with them? Because Wiper has given that
coalition making is a continuous process. We are waiting to see what happens after Ruto breaks down ODM and what remains and whom we can deal with.
How will he break it down? Because there's been no conversation about dissolving ODM.
Already,
it's a conversation for a coalition, a broad-based government.
Junet, Wanga, they have sold ODM to Ruto. It was sold in Kirigori.
There's no evidence.
Did they say only ODM? And what is the evidence to that effect?
I've just told you.
Waliuza chama kwa pesa ngapi?
We know these things, my friend. We have been around for a long time.
No, explain this to us.
When Rigiji tells you your wife is pregnant, go and buy diapers.
Let's explain this to us, Mheshimiwa. So you are working currently with DAPK and Wiper and everybody else. Have you bought them?
No, I've not.
So why is it that when UDA is working with ODM, then they've been bought?
You see, they have been bought. That is why they want to kick out Sifuna, the Secretary General of the party.
No, let's talk about
That is why. No, listen,
so why?
You are asking me why.
Yeah, have you bought this
No,
Wiper
I've not
and
bought
DAPK?
anybody. They don't.
So why is building the other coalition between ODM and UDA a matter of one buying the other and not coalition building?
Because the people who sold ODM don't want Sifuna. Because Sifuna has refused to sell ODM to William Ruto. That's why they have called an NDC to kick him out. And that will be the death of ODM. And that's what Ruto wants. He wants to kill ODM. He told me myself that I'll kill this ODM. I cannot allow
Again, that is
strong
hearsay. So we cannot verify that statement because that was a conversation
Go and ask him
between
when
the
you
two of you. How much was ODM bought for?
I don't know the figure, but a deposit.
So how then do you know it was bought?
A deposit has been paid.
How much deposit?
What?
How much is the deposit?
That is a story for another day.
No.
So you're the one making the allegations.
I'll go and find out also.
You're the one making the allegations.
Ukasema sisi kazi yetu ni labda kujua zaidi.
Pia nyinyi mfanye kazi kidogo, mimi nimepatia nyinyi tip, nyinyi mfanye hiyo ingine. You are also investigative journalists. Go and find out the figure. Okay. And let me tell you what happened. My brother, just open up your eyes. I've done oral literature. I studied Luo customs. Death and burial is a very strong and emotive issue in the Luo nation. Okay? Raila Odinga dies. Before his body arrives in Kenya, ODM has changed hands. In an African setup, and among the Luo have studied oral literature, you don't inherit a man before he's buried. ODM, Raila was the leader of ODM. He dies. A team is sent to go and bring his body. Junaid Mohammed conveniently becomes sick. He doesn't go to collect the body. Suluhu gets sick, conveniently doesn't go to collect the body. Oburu, conveniently, the brother doesn't go to collect the body. Before the body arrives, National Executive Council is convened. And the leadership of ODM changes hands. Raila Odinga is inherited before his body arrives in the country and before he is buried. It has never happened in an African custom. ODM had already been sold, and the coup was done even before his body arrived in this country. Yeah? And that is why they want to kick out Sifuna, because Sifuna cannot agree to that scheme.
The statements of the ODM being sold is the one thing you keep referring to, but you can't tell us how much.
Why should we I've asked you,
conversation? And you keep referring to Sifuna, that is one person.
Doesn't it
that is just
you,
a fallout
Trevor?
with one person.
No, you are low. Doesn't it bother you? That a man is inherited before he is buried.
I'm not the one answering the questions. You're the one answering the questions.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing a question.
You're the one answering the questions.
For your own mind.
Why would you say it's been bought?
But why don't you? Why are you not asking me to explain?
We're asking you to explain how much was it bought for, and you're not telling us.
Lots of money.
How much?
A lot of.
What was the deposit?
Lots of money.
Is it because one person leaves, then now a party has been bought?
Lots of money.
And I've asked you the same question. Have you bought Wiper and DAPK, the ones you're working with?
I don't know why you want to bring Wiper and DAPK.
Because it's a coalition. You're the one who's told us you've been in politics for long. So we're trying to understand.
I don't know why you want to play advocate for William Ruto. Aren't you bothered as a law that ODM is getting finished? You should be bothered. That is your vehicle. That is a vehicle that Raila Odinga developed for the community.
Is it not giving you an opportunity as DCP maybe to be solid and work with?
To do what?
To work with
the ODM.
I am saying.
And even accommodate.
I am willing to work with like-minded Kenyans, like-minded political parties. But I am saying we are still waiting. We are observing the political space. The destruction of ODM is imminent. Whatever little will be left or whatever will go away, we'll see whom we can work with. The Wanga, Junet, Oburu wing will go with William Ruto. Whatever else remains, because I have seen Akina Sifuna, Akina Babu, Akina Orengo, they are steadfast that they don't want to destroy Raila's legacy. They want multi-party democracy to work. They want a strong political party. The Akina Orengo are very clear that you cannot finish ODM.
Is that the wing of ODM you want to work with?
There?
Is that the wing of ODM?
I don't know what will remain. Let's see what happens on Friday.
You just said that they are
I'm just saying.
That's the Linda Mwananchi team.
I am listening. I'm listening.
Are you working with them?
I am listening to Orengo. I'm listening to Babu. I'm listening to Sifuna. And I agree with him that we need good, strong political parties for Kenya's democracy. I'm in agreement with them.
So are you likely to work together?
Yeah, why not?
Have you had a conversation of working together?
Not yet, but why not? Politics, as I told you, is dynamic. We can work together.
Okay. Yeah. But are you willing to have a conversation with Oburu Oginga?
I have no problem. I can work with anybody. Okay. I can work with anybody who wants to work with us. We have no problem.
Including President William Ruto?
What?
Are you willing to work with President William Ruto?
No, I'm not willing to work with President William Ruto. He's bad for the country. He's destroyed the Kenyan nation. We had very good education system bequeathed to us by Mwai Kibaki. Free primary education. He has destroyed it. We had day secondary school bequeathed to us by Uhuru Kenyatta. He has destroyed it. We had Leader Mama, destroyed. He has sold public assets, Safaricom, Kenya Pipeline, JKIA.
But all these are being done by the approval.
We have a shell of a country.
But are being done by the approval of the National Assembly.
No.
Which is an entity given that mandate to do so.
There is no approval. And by the way, the National Assembly is also captured. Yeah, it's not a house that now represents the people of Kenya anymore. It's a captured house.
Including MPs who are allied to you, you say are captured?
Mine are the minority. The majority have the way.
When did this Damascus moment for you appear? When you now noticed that the person described as your brother is running the country down?
1 year down the line after
you were impeached?
1 year down the line after we came to office. 1 year we had problems.
But you never said anything.
I said it that year. I said it internally.
You only talked about this after you impeached.
I said it internally. But when I was still in office, I said not.
Why didn't you resign?
Why should I? I was not elected by William Ruto. I heard him saying that he gave me an opportunity. He didn't give me an opportunity. I was given an opportunity to lead by the people of Kenya. The person he has given an opportunity is Kindiki. I was elected by the people of Kenya, not William Ruto.
When you were friends, in fact, I'm quoting you again, you had said that President William Ruto, you were not to be known if it wasn't for President William Ruto. In fact, at the time, you were having a camaraderie with him, saying that he's been holding the hands of other leaders, including yourself. Why has that changed now?
That was then. But that does not make me daft. Because I was friendly with William Ruto, I have no brain. The minute I started seeing the country is headed in the wrong direction, I told him no. When I was in office, my friend, if you remember, I called a press conference in Mombasa on 26th of June about abductions and extrajudicial killing and told him off. I said, Mr. President, don't call our kids criminals. These are our sons and daughters. I stood with the Gen Zs when I was in office.
At that point, there was already a conversation about your impeachment.
But don't say, no, that was June. Impeachment came in October. I didn't speak when I left office. When he sabotaged the war on drugs, on the fight against drugs and alcohol abuse, in Nyandarua, I told him on his face, why is your CS Interior and PS Interior sabotaging the war on alcohol? I heard him saying that I was taking money from cartel.
They said you are extortionist.
Yeah, he can say whatever he wants to say. If that was true, it would have been one of the charges of the impeachment. It wasn't. That is an afterthought. After I have really put him to task and I have created a huge one-term movement in the country that is sending him home. The reality of one term has just sunk to him. I have told you, I told him publicly, don't sabotage the war on drugs and alcohol when I was in office. I did not start telling him off when I left office. And one of the reasons why he had to get rid of me is because I was opposing him from within the cabinet. When he brought the finance bill, 2024, I was the only one voice in the cabinet to say, no, this is not acceptable to the people of Kenya, and the people of Kenya will have a problem with it, and we shall have an egg on our face. And it came to pass. I went back to the cabinet, I said, Mr. President, I told you, after the agencies forced him to back down, I said, I told you, you did not want to listen to me. I told you this thing cannot be accepted by the people of Kenya. So this argument that I only spoke after I left from within government, that was the intention of the framers of the 2010 Constitution. They did not expect a robot, an appointed deputy president like the one we have, who cannot say no to the president because he's his appointee. The framers of the 2010 Constitution wanted to bring oversight within the executive so that you have a president and a deputy who are both elected. And since not both of them can go wrong at the same time, if one of them goes wrong, the other one can check him.
Hiyo ilikuwa kazi ya bunge. Tuko na makamati mbalimbali za bunge kuangalia jinsi executive inavyotenda kazi yake, mheshimiwa. Are you trying to rewrite what the constitution says in terms of its spirit and letter?
I am saying there is something called the letter and the spirit of the law. The letter is what is written. The spirit is the intention. Why did the framers of the Constitution want two elected people, one president and a deputy elected by the people? So that the deputy president has a voice because he's elected by the people. The current deputy president we have is a robot. He's somebody's appointee. There's nothing he can say. Everything is yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
You had said in one of the political meetings when you were still in good terms with the president that wewe ni mtu wake wa mkono, wewe ni Mr. Yes, sir.
I see. Yes, on good things. I was prepared to be yes, sir, on what is true, what is good, what is constitutional, what is within the law. I had no problem. And for the good things that we were doing, I was supporting him 100%. But when he started abductions, extrajudicial killings, I said no. Okay. When he started demolitions and evictions, I said no. When he started theft of public resources, I said no. When he started misappropriation of public funds, I said no. I was prepared to be loyal, yes sir, on things that are constitutional, things that are good, things that serve the people of Kenya, things that are appropriate, and that improves the lives of the people of Kenya. I was more than prepared.
Thank you.
The minute I realized that what was happening is not what is supposed to happen, I said no.
Kuna wakati ulikuwa kama naibu wa rais, wakati chama cha ama coalition ya Azimio walipokuwa na maandamano, tulikuona ukiraukia mapema sana kwa ofisi yako, ukicoordinate masuala ya kudeal with mambo ya maandamano, watu waliuawa, watu wakapigwa vibaya sana, mali ikaharibika. Was this part of the script of saying yes sir to the Mr. President?
I was not in charge of security operations. The way the security architecture works in this country.
You chaired a meeting, Mr.
The way the security architecture works in this country.
You chaired some meeting in absence of the president.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the way the security architecture works in this country is that the president is the chairman of the National Security Council. He also appoints all the security chiefs and they report to him directly. The deputy president has no say in security operations, except if directed by the president to carry out a certain assignment, or the president is out of the country and deliberately assigns the deputy some duties. That meeting I chaired that one day on a Sunday morning. We had gone to the airport and he was chairing the meeting. At time was going, he told me to continue with the deliberations. Okay. But all decisions on the crackdown on maandamano were made by the president, executed by Kindiki and Raymond Omolo. I was a bystander. Going to the office early in the morning was part of my routine. I used to go to the office every day at 5, whether there is maandamano or no maandamano. I have found some ODM MPs going to Nyanza to tell people that people were killed when I was deputy president. I was not president. I did not appoint the inspector general. I did not appoint the director of the DCI. I did not appoint Raymond Omolo. I did not appoint Kindiki. Those were appointees of
wakati ukasema kwenye kanda kwamba IG wa polisi wa sasa kijana kutoka kwenyu wewe ndio ulimpendekeza kwa rais.
Yes. But he's the appointing authority. You can recommend somebody, but he can take it or not take it.
So did you recommend the wrong person? Is that what you're saying?
True.
Do you regret recommending the IG?
No, I have no regret. What happened with IG is that the president decided to sack Kenoti, who was DCI. And I didn't have a problem with it or say because he's the president. And I demanded that if Kenoti is sacked, I need a replacement from Meru because that is a position the people of Meru were enjoying. And so Kome was identified, and I took part in that identification. But I don't take responsibility for his actions. The fact that I said this guy is okay, but the appointing authority is the one who made the final appointment. I made so many other recommendations which he ignored. Yes.
Okay. Let's take some feedback here. We're about to take a quick break for the highlights here, but there's quick feedback. Ashley Dan says, shame on you, Ramogi, for inviting a tribalist for an interview. How will you shake off this tag of being a tribalist?
Well, to start with, if tribalism is speaking one's language, then Ramogi station should never have existed. Why do you call me to a tribal show?
We didn't call you.
But you know, I'm saying, why does this show exist?
You requested us to come here.
No, but why does it exist? Why does Ramogi exist?
You are being asked here that there's a tag for you being a tribalist.
What makes me a tribalist?
Shareholding conversation is one
but,
of them.
But Guru is talking about shareholding.
But let's not deflect the question to other people. It's you who started this conversation on shareholding.
My friend.
And people believe that you stand for the mountain more than any other reason.
Shareholding is part of the agreement between Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi and is signed by William Ruto. Does that make him a tribalist? Shareholding is part of discussion on political negotiations and is going on as we speak today. And there's nothing wrong with anybody saying, if we support you, this is our expectation. And that's what ODM is saying. And they are saying it so loudly. Why is that person sending you that message, not asking why Oburu and those who are asking for shareholding with Ruto are not tribalists?
Because we're speaking to you now. So is that the same arithmetic that you have
that is a tag. Let me tell you, that tag of tribalism has been pushed by William Ruto. But when I was supporting him, he never said I'm a tribalist. When my community was supporting him, he never said I'm tribal. My community and I are not tribal. Ask me why. In the last election, we had a candidate called Mwaura. We never gave him any vote. We gave 4 million votes to William Ruto and 1.3 million votes to Raila Odinga. I had the leeway to say I cannot support William Ruto because he comes from another community. Okay. Then how do you call me a tribalist after supporting a Kalenjin to a man? I supported him with my people. Okay. When did he realize we are tribalists? Then he was saying I'm a very good man, a very good mobilizer, a people-centered guy. I don't know what. He had very kind words about me. Okay. But the minute I and my people decided that he had betrayed us, he had shortchanged us, he had deceived us, he is not what he told us he is, he's not what we thought he was, and we changed our mind, then we became tribal.
All right, stay with us, Mheshimiwa. We have to take a quick break. Nyikuwa Ramogiro kama na nyoko mkitira Mugi TV kaendie. Network makende gyogai mar DCP Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua kijalo pja ten piny Kenya machone dala ne makaren obiro ni achiel kachiel kontiere kagi VOJ Victor Tieno Juma mar Radio Ramogi. Waka thuolo moro yue machuok mondo muwinjare weche manyien madhi biro saa 3 to koduogo kendo to pod odhi medo go mbaka gi Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua menogai mar DCP gi jalup jatend piny Kenya machon. Kik udhi mabor ahinya. You want to speak to Ramogi TV and Ramogi Radio.
Thank you very much.
Na watazamaji, kuna mmoja na hoji kwamba ulipokuwa katika ofisi yako kama naibu wa rais, kuna jamii moja almost constitute about 50% of staff in your office from your backyard. Does this worry you? This is Edwin Sirega from Migori asking that question. Labda ungejibu hilo swali.
Mimi ningeuliza kama inawezekana tuongee mambo ya maendeleo, kwa sababu naona hii interview tumeilegesha kuwa ni kama ni mambo dogo ambayo hainaweza saidia wasikilizaji.
Hiyo ni sauti ya mwananchi.
Ameuliza swali negative, soma zile positive comment pia iko, because nimeona positive comments kwa hii show wakati ya break. Don't be selective, and I think it's also good you be professional. And don't reduce a national show into asking questions that are dragging us.
We are very much professional.
Those are the questions being asked by the people on Facebook And I'm sure you have Facebook as well, so you could just check. It's the
I
same
would
question
think
you're
if
asking.
we can take time to discuss the development of Nyanza, ingekuwa mzuri.
Okay. During your tenure as
Because there's
deputy
no
president-
need for us to spend time talking to a whole community on such a popular station just to deal with the trivialities. We have dealt with them enough. I think it's time you try. We see whether we can discuss issues that can change the lives of the people of Nyanza.
So matters leadership and governance.
I think we have tackled that
realities.
half the show. We have tackled that half the show. And that is a problem we had when I had a show here with Okwara. We dealt with the whole show on trivialities and pettiness, and we lost the gist of the interview.
Okay, thank you.
It's
Thank you
also
so much.
good for
Fair-
us.
fair enough.
Because I think it's also important to discuss issues that can impact on lives to the people of Nyanza, and what are my thoughts. Yeah, and that's why I thought this interview was necessary. I cannot guide you on how to do the interview, but I thought it's responsible for you as senior journalists to also allow us to discuss.
Do you think responding to the people is
matters
worth
that
your time?
can change and impact on the lives of the people?
Is
of
it worth
Nyanza?
your time responding to the people asking questions?
When are you going to ask issues that concern
We
the
are asking you questions from the people.
Because
There's
they're
more
also
questions
asking
that
the
have
same
come in.
questions.
Even on
Well, to start with,
23600, there are questions.
my office was run by George McAgoy. He's the one who was employing people. So when you find him, you can ask him who was employed there and who was not. I have no details as to the people who was working in that office, other than the senior staff attached to me, where I had a say. Others were public servants that were picked by the Public Service Commission, and the then chief of staff would be in a better position to know than I.
Bishop Joseph Omuya from Bondo says, my question to Honorable GACHAGUA is this. He said that he was singing in the choir of Mr. President. How can Kenyans trust someone who can sing a song without care, even the song has something abusive words in the communities?
We leave that decision to the people of Kenya on the ballot day.
Do you believe the SGR will be beneficial to the Western region?
That's a good question now. Now we are talking. SGR.
That's a question from
yeah,
the
yeah,
people,
that's,
the
that's,
same
that's,
ones you're
now we are
casting.
talking. Now we are talking. SGR is a very useful infrastructural intervention, not just for Nyanza, but for Uganda. Yeah? And I think it can increase trade and movement of cargo between Kenya and Uganda. My only problem is that whether it's doable, because this promise has been there for the last 4 years, and it's coming on the last year of the election. What I would want the ODM people to do, and the people of Nyanza, politely, is to ask that this contract be published with the date of commencement and the date of completion, so that we know it is not a con, which I think it is. I could be wrong. And because I have seen these con games, we were promised Mau Mau Road, barabara ya orofa ya kutoka Nairobi kwenda Thika. You know, I have been in this game before, and I know William Ruto and what he does in that direction here. What we are asking is for us to know that this project is real and it has been properly done. Because this company called CRBC has been used to con people. They went to Rironi Mau Summit Road and launched that road that was, we were told by William Ruto it will be ready by April. It has not started. And there's no contract.
When was the last time you were there?
No, I'm just saying,
witness Rironi?
wait a minute, I tell you what's happening. There's no contract, so the contractors cannot start.
So there's no
What has happened,
Nobody
they
on
have been
site.
given some little money
Okay.
from the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, to do what you call data works, just clearing and giving an impression that something is going on. For Rironi Mau Summit Road, I'm challenging the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure to publish the contract between the government of Kenya and the Chinese contractors, showing the date of commencement and the date of completion. That contract does not exist.
But as the work started, have you seen
there
the
is,
work?
there is no work that has
In the
started.
Rironi Mau Summit
What
Road,
has
there's no
started,
work that is
I've told you
going on.
what is being done is what you call data works.
Are you being factual?
No,
Mheshimiwa?
listen.
Because
I've been there.
I was in Nakuru
Nakuru the other day.
I was also there.
No, I'm just
There
telling
are
you
works
what is,
on that road.
I'm telling you what is going on is what you call data works.
The graders are there. Everything is
They're
there.
there. I've told you they are called data works, but there's no contract. So the actual construction of the road cannot start. So just the way I'm asking for the publication of the contract for Rironi Mau Summit Road, specifically showing the contractor, the amount, the scope, commencement date and the date of completion. For SGR, I'm asking on behalf of the country and the beneficiaries and everybody else, because it's important and it's good for the country, we want the publication of the contract for the construction of the SGR, showing clearly the date of commencement and the date of completion.
In 2024, you flanked the president while in his tour in the Nyanza region, mkaenda mpaka Rusinga. Wakati huu kuna hiyo barabara imejengwa ikaisha. Do you think that there is any other tangible project that this government has done in the region?
I have not seen him launch any completed roads. I saw him launching. I would want our government, the one that we shall form, we shall borrow the model of Mwai Kibaki. Mwai Kibaki never launched any road or any project he commissioned when it's complete. I think that must be the new way of doing things, because many projects the president was doing in Nyanza the last 5 days, he has launched them before. There are roads in Meru he has launched 5 times.
Like which one did he launch in Nyanza during his tour?
So I'm saying in our government, the one that we want to form with my colleagues, one of the things that we are all in agreement, we want to stop this launching business. We want to stop this inspection business. Let inspection be done by engineers, not politicians. The deputy president has no capacity to inspect a road. That is work of engineers. The architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, the professionals. A president or a deputy president or a minister for that matter in our administration will commission a complete project. This thing of launching is all nonsense. And it really annoys people because you keep on giving people false hope. Most of the projects that have been launched by the president in Western Kenya, he was there. Not an inch of tarmac has been done. He made an agreement with Musalia and Wetangula that he will do 1,000 kilometers of road. I was part there. Not a single kilometer has been done.
We are not talking about the Western.
No, I'm just giving an example. Yeah. You know, Nyanza did not have an agreement with him because they were in Azimio. But Western Kenya had an agreement with William Ruto. So an agreement is binding. The mountain had an agreement with him. That is why we keep on saying. Nyanza did not have an agreement, so they really cannot put him to task, other than telling them promises. But I am saying, in future, in our government, the launching, inspection will not be done by politicians. We will do the commissioning when a project is done. And
let's come back to the Ronimau Summit Road. So you've admitted that you've seen some works there.
I've seen what you call data works.
So this is a PPP project. Why does it require any budget allocation? Because is it not being done by the same contractor China?
I've said we want to see a contract.
Hold on 1 second. We're just talking about this. Isn't it the same contractor who did the expressway? So why, if it is a PPP, why then would you need to see the contract?
There is no project that you do without a binding contract, because this money will be paid by taxpayers. It doesn't matter whether it's PPP or whatever it is. It will be paid by the people of Kenya. Anything that has a monetary implication must be founded on a contract that is binding and that has clauses also for default and liabilities.
Do you think the PPP is the way to go?
The PPP is too expensive. It's too expensive. I don't think it's necessary.
What option are you offering? Should you be the president of the Republic of Kenya?
I would just propose that we complete ongoing projects first before embarking on new ones.
Financing model, how would you go about it?
We just collect enough and we use it prudently without exaggerated figures, without putting in commissions for civil servants, and kwetu wanasema unajikuna pahali unajifikia. We do what is possible.
So if you take over, all these projects would stop, and
I'm not saying we'll stop. I'm saying we would want to complete ongoing projects before we embark on new ones.
If not through PPP, how would you want to
we just raise enough revenue by having a very prudent mechanism of revenue collection, sealing all the loopholes, sealing all the leaks, and also using the money prudently.
When you came into office, you told us that the coffers were empty and that we were stretched thin.
But
so if we don't do it through PPP,
we started collecting.
How would you do it? Funds. Will you increase taxation?
We started collecting funds and use those funds for development, not for bribing voters. You have seen the budget of State House. When Uhuru Kenyatta was there, it was 4.5. It has gone to 17 billion. That 13 billion can do so many roads. That is money that is being wasted.
So you believe the government is too extravagant?
Yeah, there is always money that you collect from taxes, through VAT, through pay-as-you-earn, through income tax. There is sufficient funds in this country, but we need to use those funds prudently for the purposes for which they have been collected from the people of Kenya, by stopping wastage and privilege.
So practically speaking, if you took over as the president, what is the first thing you would do?
It is to stop theft of public funds.
How?
Just that. Stop people from stealing from the top. Once the president stops stealing, nobody else steals. Okay. Once the president is stealing, everybody else joins in the gravity train. You stop it from the top. Once you stop from the top, it stops. It must be stopped.
How?
We also must
I'm
stop
still struggling
using,
with the how.
I will not have, by not allocating 17 billion to State House.
So you cut down the budget of State House
Yeah,
by
of course. Not just that. I've seen the deputy president is allocating 450 billion for choppers, for going around doing politics and doing nothing. Those are the things that we must stop. Wastage.
So in your mathematics,
once we stop wastage, those funds, because they are available, we apply them prudently for the benefit of the people of Kenya, for services. That's what I'm saying.
What percentage of the budget for government should be slashed? If you
I wouldn't have the figures of what we need to do. I need to get into office and put it down and see what is wastage and what is useful. Yeah, that will do. But I am clear in my mind that if you stop theft at the top by the president, the rest will follow.
It's a year to election, Mheshimiwa. I'm trying to get into your tangible movements.
You'll have my manifesto soon, don't worry.
Because this is also a conversation in your political spheres, where there's a conversation that the opposition are all about one term, but no specific agenda.
Hold your horses. I'll be having an election manifesto explaining to the people of Kenya what I'll do for them if I'm president.
When should we expect that manifesto?
Just hold your horses, just wait.
For now, you don't have any general
It's
structure.
being worked on. There are people working on it. Okay. It's a good document. It needs to be worked on. There are many technical people who are helping us to think through. We are giving our own input to listening to many people. In the fullness of time, we'll have an election manifesto. You will be able to ask me questions based on my proposal.
Umezungumzia maswali ya ufisadi kwa kina kabisa. Je, kuna maybe the pillars that top notch that you would want to maybe share with us in terms of what you envision if at all you are elected to the President of the Republic of Kenya as we wait for your manifesto?
I have said we have to deal with corruption.
Apart from corruption,
yeah.
Any other thing that you see?
We need to restore institutions of governance. We need to restore the independence of parliament. You know, we need to make sure that there is no interference in the criminal justice system. I have just seen they are harassing Tuju. They have slapped him with a demand of 650 million by KRA. They are using that body. After harassing him, the man is in hospital. That guy had a bad accident, he injured his spine. He was mishandled by police. He is in hospital. He has not killed anybody. He has not done anything that would warrant that kind of violence against him. The man is in ICU. They have now using KRA to intimidate him so that he can shut up. We must stop the use of the criminal justice system to manage politics. We must stop using police to how to deal with the business people. I said the other week, there is a tender, there is a work to be done at the Nairobi Railway City that is funded by the British. And there was a tender, and one company quoted 22 billion shillings. The one that the president prefers, called CRBC, who are doing everything. They are doing the Talanta Stadium, they are doing SGR, they are doing JKI, they are doing everything in this country. They quoted 29 billion, a difference of 7 billion. Then the ones who quoted 22 billion, who are the people who had been recommended to do that tender, they went to the appeals tribunal for procurement to intimidate them and to stop them from complaining. They were rounded up from Usenge, where they are doing a road, and put in a plane and deported to China. Yeah. Those are things we must stop. Okay. The use of the criminal justice system to do politics and also to intimidate business people to the advantage of the powers that be.
All right.
These are the things that we must work on.
There's a question here from Steve Ogola. He says, please ask Honorable Rigathi Gachagua this question. Going by his logic of negotiated political settlements, what does DCP or his political faction offer the Luo nation as the alternative to be able to work with him in the lead up to 2027 election?
Well, we don't just offer the Luo nation, we offer the people good governance. We want good governance. Our slogan is listen to the people, listen to Kenyans. You must govern the people of Kenya the way they want to be governed. because they are our employers. They are the ones who give you power. And that power must be exercised in accordance to their wishes. I'm not just offering the Luo nation a good government. I'm just offering the people of Kenya good governance where the voice matters. When the people of Kenya say they don't want housing, I told William Ruto, there is a lot of complaint. People feel that the responsibility of government is to provide services, road, sewage, drainage, security. They want houses to be left in the private sector. He told me what is popular, you know what is right. But if the majority of the people who have given you the job decide what you are doing is not right, you cannot argue with them. So I am saying what I'm offering to the people is transparency, is accountability, is checks and balances, is the supremacy of institutions of governance, where we allow institutions to play their right role. That's what Mwai Kibaki did under the president. He allowed institutions to work, and he let everybody work. He did not micromanage the country. He didn't try to do everything by himself. You never saw Mwai Kibaki on top of a vehicle. You know, we have a president who was elected. When you are looking for leadership, there is nothing wrong with you being on top of a vehicle. But once you are elected, you settle down in a humble house, you settle down in State House and work. You know, you can't be. I saw him in the Luo Nation 5 days. He was on top of it. You must sit in an office and put in hard work. Sit on a desk, get briefs, digest them, and give guidance and give direction as to what will happen. We want to restore the dignity of the presidency. We want to get the Kenyan president to get back to the people of Kenya. From Harambee House, from State House. But I am not going to be a president. If I am elected president of the Republic of Kenya, you will never see me on top of the vehicle. I'll either be in office or in the State House working.
All right. We're about to give you a chance to give closing remarks because we're running out of time here. But there's a question here from one Eriko Kach from Kisumu. This says, the families said it's a rather insensitive question, but we'll just ask it because the people have asked. Can you respond to Ruto about the murder? I
cannot respond to nonsense, pettiness and gossip.
Stay in the church for 1 hour.
Although he has become a gossip. Instead of addressing real issues affecting this country has a debt of 14 trillion. He is not bothered. We are facing a crisis on fuel shortage. He is not addressing it. He is on top of a vehicle.
Cannot imagine that Dennis will miss heaven.
What kind of pettiness is that?
That's why God, He have given us His only Son, because He cannot imagine that He is
getting 1% of
it. But the kind of things he's talking do not warrant my response. They are too petty and too childish. Let me talk about one thing that you never allowed me. There is a project called Koru Soin Dam. Yes. Uhuru Kenyatta allocated 20 billion. That was a dam. And the people of Kisumu so that when it rains, the water can move to that dam. That dam would have produced electricity for the Luo nation. It would have given water for domestic and for the nation. William Ruto removed that. When he comes to that, the people of Nyanza must ask him, why did you remove the 20 billion from this project that Uhuru Kenyatta given the people of Luo?
When too aware that these are abused by the two contractors contesting the award of the tender for that particular project.
Kabonyo Fisheries Training School, 3 billion shillings through the Hungary nation, allocated by Uhuru Kenyatta. It was going on, it has stalled. The people should have asked him, instead of abusing Rigathi Gachagua, tell us about these projects. When you look at the sugar factories, Miwani, Sony, Muhoroni, Chemelil, they have all been sold to people. 10.2 billion shillings owed to employees of that region. People are committing suicide. Their properties are being auctioned. I did not hear
how many people have committed suicide so far?
Quite a number. Sikusikia kiongozi hata moja, Uhuru, nani, Suluhu, hakuna mtu aliuliza mtu hii 10.2 billion mtalipa hii wafanyikazi lini? Mambo ya wakulima ya uongozi ukisaidia watu ya Wajaluo.
What did you do during your tenure as the deputy president to address the issues of the sugar subsector in the region and the
now the horses have left the stable William Ruto has sold those factories to Asians and other people.
I'm asking when
These
during your tenure.
These factories, the people of Nyanza should have been given an opportunity to buy. They would have owned them in Nyatike. And they were sold to people. We are now there in Nyatike. There is gold. Chinese have been given. Why can't people from Nyanza be given an opportunity to those are the issues I had wanted us to discuss. The issue instead of William Ruto coming to the Luo Nation, what you need to do for the Luo Nation, and that is what I will do when I'm president, we must discuss the resource given by God, fish, in the Lake Victoria. If you really want to empower the people, forget about all these other things, is to come up with processing plants, is to come up with empowerment for people to be given fishing nets.
Blessing that came with that journey.
This fish is very expensive. And it's unfortunate that people are wallowing in poverty when they have a resource next in the lake.
Are you admitting that during your tenure as CDP, you didn't push for the Luo agenda in terms of
There's
Luo
economy?
economy?
I could push for. The
a
government that I
base?
was deputy president is our
Further, with all your permission,
He even advises his own advisors on how to address it. He decided
it was not about
we were just
interest.
there. You don't just
It was a privilege and an honor.
and he said you there. He
The
said
true
you there,
meaning
there, but
of
he does
compassion
everything,
and
that is what we want to
responsibility.
change. We
Though the
want to have a
journey
government
was
that has
long
these
and
issues on
sometimes
our
painful,
People who
it
have
was
been
also
appointed, they can do our work.
a blessing
Alright.
because
Let me also
Mheshimiwa,
tell
I'd
them.
like to give you a chance for closing remarks because we've run out of time here.
She
But I was
spoke
looking at the
openly.
Kuruso in the
She
dam
spoke-
that you talked about. There was no
she had within
20
her
billion that was
heart,
allocated. In fact, it was
even
2
as her
billion
body
was
grew
allocated,
weaker,
but removed
her
in
wrath and
2020
concern
because it was
for
too
her
little for the
children
project.
and
It was 19
family.
billion that you can't put that 20 billion could not be allocated in that financial year.
Then what
But
happened?
even then,
Have you been told what happened?
let's have the
Tufuruanite.
comments because we've run out of
and
time.
Well, Trevor, you have been very biased in this show, which is very unprofessional, because let me my closing remarks. I've heard these people talk about broad-based at the Luo Nyanza government because of 2 ministers. The Luo Nyanza had a vice president called Jaramogi, but he still agitated for justice and rights. They never became complacent because they had a vice president. The Luo nation has had a prime minister. Raila and the Luo people still stood for what is right and justice. The people of Nyanza cannot be bought by positions. During Moi's time, out of 18 MPs, 17 were ministers and assistant ministers. But the Luo nation still stood for what is true and right. I want to tell the Luo nation, you have 2 cabinet positions. Wadai is there for energy. More than 70% of the Luo nation has no electricity. It doesn't mean because Wadai is eating, the Luo nations are eating. We, the mountain, have 8 ministers, but we are opposed to William Ruto because he is doing wrong things. And those 8 positions are for individual ministers and their families. So these 2 positions the Luo nation have are for those 2 families. It cannot be that the community now can become complacent. They cannot question what is wrong. They cannot question what is not going on well in the country. They cannot demand what is rightfully theirs and they pay taxes because they have 2 cabinet positions. The Luo nation has always had very senior positions, but it's a dignified community that has always stood for what is true and what is right. Okay. I'm asking the Luo nation, much as you have 2 cabinet positions, fight for your right, fight for what is just, and make sure that you position yourselves properly so that the interests of your community can be taken care of in the future.
Will you be visiting the Luo nation soon?
Yes, I will.
When?
Well, soon. I'm just working my things around. I hope Raymond Omolo will not sponsor violence against me the way he has been doing in Nairobi. He's been mobilizing people in Nairobi to attack churches.
Again, allegations that you
no, it's true.
He
can take me to court. He organized violence in Kariobangi Church.
You have evidence for this, so you can take this to court.
Even this attack on Orengo is Omolo.
So you can take this to court?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
He is the one who has been organizing violence in Nyanza. And I want to ask Raymond Omolo, stop violence.
So when are you coming to Nyanza?
I should be coming soon.
Okay.
Let me organize myself.
Will you be fielding candidates in DCP?
Well, I'll come.
Will DCP be fielding candidates in that area?
I want to tell the Luo nation that if ODM joins UDA, those who are independent people and minded, who are not sycophants, If you don't come to DCP, your goose is cooked. Yeah. You will never get the certificate. DCP is available to the Luo Nation. All those leaders who are courageous, who are brave, who believe in the people, who want to go to parliament to fight for the Luo Nation, DCP is your party. Even here in Nairobi, I have very many aspirants who have come to DCP. Okay. And I have told the Luo Nation here in Nairobi to be careful, because previously the ODM has had 9 MPs in the city, courtesy of Wiper, courtesy of the Malembe Nation, courtesy of the Kisii Nation. Okay. Those nations are not with Ruto. Ruto has no votes in Nairobi. So if you go and make a partnership with Ruto, where will you get votes? Okay. You people must align yourself with the realities of Nairobi politics. All right. The Nairobi politics, as we speak today, is in the opposition. All right. So if they decide to join Ruto, they will not get a single position here in Nairobi. And I'm saying, like Ruaraka, if I get a good candidate from the Luo Nation who wants to run at the DCP, hey, voila. All right. Yeah. Thank you, His Excellency. His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the DCP leader and also former deputy president. Mane kama we chenru marwa marubu chijopen, kawono nuwa rie ema chualo rematin, kwa chako giwachi marangi chuelo mochoko chupunya ko imore, karabu chijopen bende wagoma na kae ndigi, ogae mar DCP, gijalu jaten pin Kenya machon, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, nduoko nero kama na nyako moroko dala ne kae ndi makari nkobira chielga chiele, tuwak makende nwantire kagi VOJ, Victor Tino Juma, tuwak odhi, jopin giwe gibiro ngado, to oyiengore kon mane. Erokamano ahinya ne Rigathi Gachagua kuom miwa thuolo kendo jopiny bende margo kodwa mbaka. En ema oluongo wakanya kwa Mgajwang kaka ne wachake ni to nodwaro ang'o hie momiyo oluongo waka tiwinjo mana kod iti kaka duoko penjo mane kaka en. Ka kamano Trevor, en kinde mar goriti nikech gimoro amora nigi sane. Tantie kod gen nitie gik manyien ma jopiny bende opuonjore e twak mane wan go odiochieng' ma kawuono. Sa koro chopo wanodoko nwero kamano kweti Ramogi TV kan kaka pile nyinga Trevor Ombija, Janding Opanga, Jonyakach, Dendo Nombija Taya, Nyakwar Guok Ocha Pesa. George Bati Daddy Cool bro biro mondo ng'iso weche mosebedo katimore pacho ka dwoko nwero kamano ahinya kuom keto Ramogi TV ka. Msikilizaji na watazamaji, pamoja na hoji kwamba ulipokuwa katika ofisi yako kama naibu wa rais, kuna jamii one time. Sure. Haya, tufungue njia basi, viongozi wetu wanakaribia hapa. Vijana mkokani. Kahura unasemaje? Every leader must know. Power comes and goes. How do we watch and say? Hey, wake us from go. DJ. Kahura hoye. Mumemwona Rigiti. Weka kidole kimoja juu ya hewa. Kidole kimoja juu ya hewa. DJ niangushie ngoma ya one time. Haya. Kahura hoye. Adwa Kahura muriega. Adwa Joba Ito.
Adwa nyumba iko. Mwenye kuomeni. Nyumba mwenye kuo. No mwenye umereirie. Ona cia hirakara. Ona twathĩrio nĩ gathongo. Ũrĩa twagĩrĩji. Mũkeyũmia. Ona ni ndĩũmĩtie wa kahĩti wa kairĩtu. Aya, hii mabango tuweke chini kidogo. Hii mabango tuweke chini. Watu ya Kahuro nimefika hapa leo. Si ndio? Leo ni leo, msema kesho. Na nimefika na wageni. Kazi wetu Dr. Steven Kalonzo wa Musyoka. Tumefika hapa pia na kasini wetu Eugene wa Malwa. Na tuko na viongozi wengi sana wakiongozwa na senator wetu Joe Nyoto. Si ndio? Kahuro hoi. Kahuro hoi. Hapa Kahuro chama yenu ni gani? Chama yenu ni gani?
Ili ya kusikiza ground. Ili ya kusikiza ground. Haya, nikisema DCP unasema sikiza ground. DCP. Toka hiyo ground ndio rauga. Leo hapa Kahuro. Hapa Kahuro.
Hapa Keharo. Hapa kwa Stanley Jido Matiba. Munasemaje? Ati munasemaje? Kahuro munasemaje? Ate morauga atea. Atea. Wacha nione Harambee. Wewe Ruto wewe. Wewe Kasongo. Wewe Kaongo. Wewe Zakayo. Wewe mwizi. Wewe muuaji. Wewe mtu ya kutenga. Wewe mtu ya Singapore. Kasongo aende asiende. Kasongo aende asiende. Wangapi wanasema Kasongo aende? Harambee. Adie kadora adie. Huyu Kasongo ametusumbua zaidi. Si ndio? Nani aliua Gen Z? Nani alisema vijana wapigwa risasi ya mguu? Nani ameharibu masomo? Nani ameharibu matibabu? Nani ameharibu majani chai? Nani ameharibu biashara? Kasongo aende asiende? Atembee asitembee? Tumekuja hapa Keharo, hapa Kahuro, nyumbani kwa Stanley Jindo Matiba. Si ndio? Na tunasema tukiwa hapa Kahuro, nyumbani kwa Kenneth Matiba, tumeanza safari hapa Kahuro, Keharo, Murang'a ya kufukuza Kasongo aende nyumbani. Aende asiende? Keharo, muko tayari? Hamuko tayari? Mwe tayari? Ando itotanyi itawaga nimukomereria mateke. Huyu Kasongo ametusumbua. Tulimuamini hapa Keharo, hapa Murang'a, hapa Mlimani, tukampatia kura zetu, akatusaliti, akatugeuka. Ameharibu Kenya, amepora mali yetu, ameuza kila kitu, ameiba kila kitu. Kenya imebaki ni nchi ambaye haiwezi simama anywhere. Na huyu Kasongo akirudi hakutakuwa na nchi. Kwa hivyo lazima tujipange, tuchukue kura aende nyumbani. Muko tayari watu ya Keharo? Mwe tayari? Unajua nyinyi wa Keharo hamtakagi mchezo, si ndio? Tunataka kusema tukiwa hapa, mimi nikiwa ofisi nilipigana na pombe haramu ikamalizika. Tangu nitoke pombe imerudi haijarudi. Sinaua watoto wetu. Wacha niseme maneno 5 tutafanya. Mwaka ujao tarehe 10 mwezi wa 8 tutaamuka mapema kufukuza Kasongo aende nyumbani. Serikali ambaye tutaunda, kazi ya kwanza ni kulegesha masomo bila malipo ya shule za msingi tulipewa na Rais Mwai Kibaki, turudishe hapa. Harambee. Ya pili, masomo ya shule ya upili ya day secondary school tulipewa na Rais Uhuru Kenyatta masomo bila malipo tutalegesha hapa Keharo na kwingineko katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. Harambee! Mpango wa Linda Mama tulipewa na Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, ya wakina mama wetu wakienda kujifungua wasilipishwe chochote. Tutalegesha mpango wa Linda Mama ya kusaidia wamama wetu. Tutaunda kitu inaitwa Guaranteed Minimum Return, GMR. Bei ya mae tumekubaliana ya kahawa, majani chai na maziwa ndio bei isiende chini ya kuumiza mkulima. Pia tumekubaliana, tulikuwa na program inaitwa NHIF. William Ruto akaondoa, akaleta mnyama anaitwa SHA. Huyo mnyama tutaichinja asubuhi na mapema na tuzike, tuipiga marufuku, turudisha mpango wa NHIF. Harambee! Harambee! Pia wale askari wote, ngoja kidogo, wale askari wote walipiga watoto wa Gen Z, wakawaua, wakapiga risasi mguu, hao polisi watakamatwa wote na kupelekwa kotini. Harambee! Harambee! Mambo ya biashara tunataka kutengeneza, kusikue maleseni mingi, ikuwe tu leseni moja. Ukikata leseni moja ya biashara, hiyo inatosha, ndio watu wetu waweze kufanya biashara bila kusumbuliwa, si ndio? Pia tunataka barabara zote ambaye zilianzishwa ya Mau Mau na Uhuru Kenyatta hapa Murang'a tukamilishe, ndio wananchi wetu waweze kufanya kazi. Tunataka kupanga mambo ya stima, zile maboma zote hakuna stima tuunganishe. Nitaraigwitha nyandwa itu. Na mimi niseme nikimalizia, ndio niita viongozi. Andũ a nyũmba itũ, andũ a nyũmba itũ, ithuĩ thogora tuonete twathirio hiki na ngari ene, tũgĩthiĩ na ngari ya wheelbarrow, twakinya rũĩ tũkĩrwo tume. Rĩu nĩ tũrohegire tũracathũrwo nĩ athuri, tũrerwo tũthondeke ngari itũ, kĩama gitũ, nyũmba itũ, ngo itũ, mwĩgito witũ, nyũmba ya rũrĩrĩ, kĩama kĩa DC, kĩama kĩa DC, kĩu nĩkĩo kĩama tũgũthura andũ othe nĩgetha marũgamĩrĩre nyũmba itũ. Harambee! Ngeretia thĩna na tuonete mũnene mũno, wacha hiyo fufuzela kidogo. Thĩna na tuonete mũnene ta nyũmba nĩ akunyanĩria rũrĩrĩ. Nĩguo andũ arĩa mendagia rũrĩrĩ nda ciao, andũ arĩa matwendirie kwa Ruto, matongoretio nĩ mũirĩtu wanyu wĩtagwo wa Maboco, ũcio nĩwe watwendirie kwa Ruto. Wa Maboco aende asiende, aliyekana aliye. Unajua wa Maboco ndio alitumana kanisani pale Wetima ICK tuuawe. Yeye ndiye anakuja hapa kuleta bosho ambaye hivi. Nani mtu ya Kasongo aende asiende? Tunataka tukue na operation inaitwa Fagia. Nikisema harambee mnasema Fagia. Harambee! Harambee! Wasaliti wote kama Kongo sasa yeye ni mtu ya Yesa. Huyu Kalonzo Musyoka ako hapa. Na tukwenda Senate.